Hello, hello, hello. It is Black Life, and I am operating solo, which is pretty much why we have so many technical difficulties popping out at once. But thank you for being here, or thank you for about to be here. What I'm going to do today is just share a little bit about current news with you, and hopefully Abby will pop in and we can have a conversation on current news, current events going on in the Black community as well as across our country. But in the meantime, I'm going to share this video to kind of kick us off, if I can. Bear with me.
American pope. Many people have been discussing the fact that he may be the first black pope. Now, there's some history that says that there have been other people throughout history that potentially were black. I'm not going to get into the nuance of that. I don't know. But what I do know is that this man had a grandmother who was biracial from South Louisiana. Creole is what people from South Louisiana identified them as. And there was a phrase or a word that was used to define black people who were biracial at the time. It was mulatto. It was a derogatory term, but it was used widespread to be very clear about who these biracial people were. If you were black, you had a baby with somebody who was white, that baby was a mulatto. That child, now you may not have heard of the one drop rule, but I want to give you the context to understanding how deep the racial issues or the racial qualifications of black people went throughout the history of America. So to break this down very clearly, a biracial person is someone who is considered mulatto in those times. But because of the one drop rule, they created words that define blackness down to 1/8. So a mulatto is a biracial person. If that biracial person marries or has a relationship with a white person and then has a child, that child was considered a quadroon. They were 25% black. Okay. If the quadroon grows up, lives their life, and marries or has a relationship with a white person, and they have a baby, that baby is considered an octoroon. That baby is considered 1/8 black. And there was a word in Merriam-Webster to define biracial. If a biracial person married a white person or had a relationship with a baby, with a white person and had a baby, then they were a quadroon, that child. And if that quadroon had a relationship with someone that was white and had a baby, that baby was considered an octoroon, and you would end up with a Pope Leo. An octoroon whose roots go deep in South Louisiana. And so those words were used to quantify how black a person was in America, because race is a construct. It is something that has been used to qualify and put people into boxes. And so much so that his family left South Louisiana, went to Chicago, Illinois, and did what we call as passe blanc in South Louisiana. They went and passed for white. Because would it have been possible for Leo to end up where he is if he had functioned in the world as a black man or a biracial man all of his life through his roles? And with the attacks on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's clear to understand that if a society was willing to label black people down to 1/8 of a black person, that same society doesn't just undo all of those things overnight. Let me give you more context. Plessy v. Ferguson was a Supreme Court decision that was made in the 1800s about a case where a black man was attempting to sit at the front of a train. He was denied the ability to sit at the front of the train because he was black, and hence came a Supreme Court ruling that gave us separate but equal, meaning that you could have separate accommodations for somebody if they were black, but they had to be equal. Here is the catch that I'm sure most of you do not know. Plessy was a quadroon. In his case, where he was fighting for the ability to sit in this seat, he was not fighting because he felt he was black. He was fighting because he felt that he had such a small percentage of blackness in him that it should not matter. Matter of fact, he said that his blackness was undiscernible. That was in the proceedings. He wasn't even trying to be black. He was saying, I am not black, but somebody knew that his grandmama or great grandmama was a black woman. And as a result, he could not sit in the seat on that first class seat that he purchased on that train, even though he could pass for white. And so the attacks on race have always existed in America. There's always been a place to caveat and say that black people, for whatever reason, are unqualified for the position, the seat, the accommodation, the whatever, that your blackness was the reason that you were undo whatever you felt you would do.
Oh, right. Well, as I said, today is about listening and learning. I have a couple of videos that I saw as I strolled through social media to, better understand the things that I was never taught and to also pique my curiosity and how I can apply it to what's going on in my life today. This video was very interesting because the words that he used are some words that I heard in my childhood and then later on in my adulthood. Um, I really never dug deeper to find out, what's up with those words and just the history of it. And so listening to what he was talking about and describing them, I would like to play it again just so we can better understand how we were classified and how it applies to our times right now. That's what I really want to start the conversation. Again, Abby Dew is not in here. Hopefully she will pop in. If not, if anybody happens to pop in the chat, I'll be happy to share your thoughts on this video. But I'm going to go ahead and rewind it and play it again because, as I said, there's a lot of terminology that is very new to me, but at the same time, I've heard some of the words in my childhood and early adulthood and different aspects of my life too. It was both some in the professional world, as well as my personal life. So I just want to play it back again so give some more people a chance to pop in or again, Abby Dew, come through.
Many people have been discussing the fact that he may be the first black pope. Now, there's some history that says that there have been other people throughout history that potentially were black. I'm not going to get into the nuance of that. I don't know. But what I do know is that this man had a grandmother who was biracial from South Louisiana. Creole is what people from South Louisiana identified them as. And there was a phrase or a word that was used to define black people who were biracial at the time. It was mulatto. It was a derogatory term, but it was used widespread to be very clear about who these biracial people were. If you were black, you had a baby with somebody who was white, that baby was a mulatto. That child. Now, you may not have heard of the one drop rule, but I want to give you the context to understanding how deep the racial issues or the racial qualifications of black people went throughout the history of America. So to break this down very clearly, a biracial person is someone who is considered mulatto in those times. But because of the one drop rule, they created words that define blackness down to 1/8. So a mulatto is a biracial person. If that biracial,
I wanted to stop that and just marinate on that for a little while. Listen to the words this man is using. One drop rule, you know, how could one drop of blood determine a person's life like that? Like look at the power of these words and how it applies to our lives. Um, I appreciate you sharing that. You said you know about these words because your great grandfather was a racist German Irish man. The darkest child he had with my great granny was my grandma was your grandmother, and she was medium caramel color. Man, I can't have PTSD thinking about how colorism plagued, my childhood in all kind of different aspects. Not only were not only were you mistreated just basically for being black, but then depending on what color black you were mistreated amongst blacks as well. So, I mean, colorism is a big, you know, a serious thing that still affects us today. And it's very visible too. I mean, you can see it in people's actions and behavior, and the way they treat people. So, I mean, it's a very visible discrimination. So you really can't hide that.
A person marries or has a relationship with a white person and then has a child, that child was considered a quadroon. They were 25% black. Okay.
Quadroon.
If the quadroon grows up, lives their life, and marries or has a relationship with a white person, and they have a baby, that baby is considered an octoroon. That baby is considered 1/8 black. And there was a word in Merriam-Webster to define biracial. If a biracial person married a white person or had a relationship with a white person and had a baby, then they were a quadroon, that child. And if that quadroon had a relationship with someone that was white and had a baby, that baby was considered an octoroon, and you would end up with a Pope Leo. An octoroon,
Wow.
whose roots go
An
deep in South
octoroon
Louisiana.
sounds
And
like a
so
fruit.
those words were used to quantify how black a person was in America, because race is a construct. It is something that has been used to qualify and put people into boxes. And so much so that his family left South Louisiana, went to Chicago, Illinois, and did what we call as passe blanc in South Louisiana. They
Passe
wouldn't
blanc.
pass for white.
Wow.
Because would it have been possible for Leo to end up where he is if he had functioned in the world as a black man
Trying.
or a biracial man all of his life through his roles? And with the attacks on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's clear to understand that if a society was willing to label black people down to 1/8 of a black person, that same society doesn't just undo all of those things overnight. Let me give you more context. Plessy v. Ferguson was a Supreme Court decision that was made in the 1800s about a case where a black man was attempting to sit at the front of a train. He was denied the ability to sit at the front of the train because he was black, and hence came a Supreme Court ruling that gave us separate but equal, meaning that you could have separate accommodations for somebody if they were black, but they had to be equal. Here is the catch that I'm sure most of you do not know. Plessy was a quadroon. In his case, where he was fighting for the ability to sit in this seat, he was not fighting because he felt he was black. He was fighting because he felt that he had such a small percentage of blackness in him that it should not matter. Matter of fact, he said that his blackness was undiscernible. That was in the proceedings. He wasn't even trying to be black. He was saying, I am not black, but somebody knew that his grandmama or great grandmama was a black woman. And as a result, he could not sit in the seat on that first class seat that he purchased on that train, even though he could pass for white. And so the attacks on race have always existed in America. There's always been a place to caveat and say that black people, for whatever reason, are unqualified for the position, the seat, the accommodation, the whatever, that your blackness was the reason that you were undo whatever you felt you would do.
Now it's done. Well, you can take that one off. Well, everyone that's with us and who will be with us, we have our beautiful Abby Dew that is about to pop on with us. And Abby Dew, I'm interested to see if you have ever heard of these words right here to describe the one drop rule.
First of all, I didn't hear any of it.
I don't hear you.
I just came.
You want
in
to
here.
stop sharing?
Oh,
I know. I just threw you into the mix. I'm gonna have to. If we both gonna talk, we're gonna have to alternate these mics because.
Hi.
Hi,
Can you
Abigail.
hear me now? Okay,
I can
I
hear
don't
you.
even know what was said. Ladies and
Occupied.
gentlemen, I was in the bathroom
Oh, I was about to say occupied. TMI.
pooing.
Oh my God.
It's
No, you
true.
did not.
I was pooing.
Get all out the mix. And I had to
I
fend for
was
myself.
busy.
I don't think I did a bad
I
job.
couldn't do it.
I don't think I did such a bad job.
I couldn't do it.
But I'm glad you're here.
Duty called.
Well,
Duty said, get your ass in the bathroom and get to pooing.
excuse
And
me.
that's what I did.
Okay.
Okay. I
Well,
mean,
we would have never known that looking at you.
girls can poo too.
Okay.
Hi,
Well, your
your
friends-
Nina. Hi. Who? I'm looking
It's just
in the
your Nina
chat.
in here and
it's
I
just your Nina.
shooting the breeze, watching the trees. But you did share some
She's wonderful.
information
And what was that?
that she was very personally familiar with the terminology Gary Chambers was covering on describing the one drop rule of black blood and the different names. I wasn't very familiar with a couple of them.
Oh, yo, Nina, where are you from? Like where'd you grow up? So, because Gary Chambers is Louisiana. So, and who is Just Me? Hi, Just Me. It's good to see you. Thank you for coming.
No black woman birthing? Is that what that means? You want to elaborate? Are you talking about the Pope? Just me?
Did you say the Pope?
Pope.
Why
The
did you
new
say the
Pope?
Pope?
Because Gary Chambers was saying that he is
Oh,
octa.
I came later, so I don't know.
It's only a 4-minute video. We could play it again, or at least the beginning, so you could hear him describe those vocabulary
Should we
words.
do it again?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You still have it up there?
I don't know.
I could check it out. Nope.
Nope. I probably
You
exited
X'd
out.
it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
did. Because I was scared. Like I got flustered.
It's okay. Can I send it to your
Private chat? Yeah, you can.
All right.
Hi,
Give us
Just
a second.
Me.
So, Just Me, you were
I
talking
don't
about
even
the
know what
Pope.
we asked. And she said
I asked
he or she
Just Me
said yes.
if Just Me meant
Or
that
they them.
the Pope's mom's not black.
The Pope is black though.
All right. So
His family grew up in Treme. They were white passing Creole. There's a lot of black people who look really white. And they pass, but they still black. He black, baby. Oh, Just Me. Hey. Oh, and you Nina, like he was acting like, well, I'm not quite sure of the history, and I'm like, wait a minute, Pope. Everybody done went through your genealogy. They done all the work. You can't tell me you don't know you ain't black, and your black nieces and nephews and shit is all on social media talking about that's my uncle. So, bruh, chill. You black. You just look white.
Just
That
Me.
Negro is black.
Just Me is asking again. What black woman gave birth to the Pope?
No, it was look at the records. They black.
Okay. I don't have any skin in this game. Like I really don't. Hold up, I'm about to send you the.
Genealogy. Look at the records. He black.
Look, we can. Gary Chambers explains it very well. We can watch it again.
Yeah, we could watch it again. Send it in a private chat so we could play it again. I mean, there was a lot of that. If you look at, I could show you a picture of my grandmother right now, and you would think she was like a white woman, and she was definitely black.
Okay, I send it to you.
Okay. It happens in Louisiana. Louisiana is one of those places
More often than not.
more often than not where it happens here. Like there's a lot of people that can pass for white, but they are definitely black people.
And unfortunately, there are some people who make certain that it happens.
You know what's unfortunate? What's most unfortunate? My tongue is getting tired. What's most unfortunate about it is how we treat each other based on the color of our skins. Because my grandmother, I don't know why this is doing this.
I don't either.
I don't
Why is
know.
asking? Oh, because you X'd out. I don't know why.
Why is this?
X out.
I don't know how. Okay, right up here. Okay, sorry, y'all. Sorry. So, let me get back to my point. My grandmother was very, very light skinned. Like, you've seen pictures of her. She looked like a white woman, but she was a black woman, and she knew she was a black woman, and she had camaraderie with black people because she was black, even though she was light skinned. And a lot of light skinned people did that. But light skinned people,
Okay.
okay. There's
I'm
a lot
just
of light
understand.
skinned people who decided to not stay with their people and pass as if they were white. Where was I going with that?
Oh, Yonina, you please don't spoil it. Abidu does not want to go to watch Sinners. She's gonna wait until it goes away, and everybody's gonna have great, juicy little details. So
Oh no, not Sinners. No, I haven't seen
told
it
you.
yet. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So let me go back to my story, I guess. Colorism is very much a thing in Louisiana because there's a lot of white passing looking black people in Louisiana. And then there's a lot of, Native black people. Native Americans, people don't realize that there were actually black people who were here before enslaved people that were already here that got enslaved.
Abidu,
And there are a lot of them in Louisiana. Louisiana is the second port in the United States. Yes.
I don't mean to interrupt your story, but I think you'll have a little more juice if we can be on the same page to
Play
touch
this.
that.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Because I was going on and on too. So let's share it again and then we'll get back to the comments.
Oh, Yonina hadn't seen Sinners.
Many people have been discussing the fact that he may be the first black pope. Now, there's some history that says that there have been other people throughout history that potentially were black. I'm not going to get into the nuance of that. I don't know. But what I do know is that this man had a grandmother who was biracial from South Louisiana. Creole is what people from South Louisiana identified them as.
Mhm.
And there was a phrase or a word that was used to define black people who were biracial at the time. It was mulatto.
Mulatto.
It's a derogatory term, but it was used widespread to be very clear about who these biracial people were. If you were black, you had a baby with somebody who was white, that baby was a mulatto. That child. Now, you may not have heard of the one drop rule, but I want to give you the context to understanding how deep the racial issues or the racial qualifications of Black people went throughout the history of America. So to break this down very clearly, a biracial person is someone who is considered mulatto in those times. But because of the one drop rule, they created words that define Blackness down to 1/8. So
1/8.
a mulatto is a biracial person. If that biracial person marries or has a relationship with a white person and then has a child, that child was considered a quadroon. They were 25% Black. Okay. If the quadroon grows up, lives their life, and marries or has a relationship with a white person, and they have a baby, that baby is considered an octoroon. That baby is considered 1/8 Black.
Don't matter.
And there was a word
I know it doesn't.
in Merriam-Webster to define biracial. If a biracial person married a white person or had a relationship with a white person and had a baby, then they were a quadroon, that child. And if that quadroon had a relationship with someone that was white and had a baby, that baby was considered an octoroon, and you would end up with a post-Leo. An octoroon whose roots go deep in South Louisiana. And so those words were used to quantify how Black a person was in America, because race is a construct. It is something that has been used to qualify and put people into boxes. And so much so that his family left South Louisiana, went to Chicago, Illinois, and did what we call as passe blanc in South Louisiana. They went and passed for white. Because would it have been possible for Leo to end up where he is if he had functioned in the world as a Black man or a biracial man all of his life?
Nope.
Through his roles?
Nope.
And with the attacks on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, it's clear to understand that if a society was willing to label Black people down to 1/8 of a Black person, that same society doesn't just undo all of those things overnight. Let me give you more context. Plessy v. Ferguson was a Supreme Court.
Hold on. I have to stop it for a second. I have to stop it there, and give some nuance in Louisiana, okay? Because we're in Louisiana, so we have Creoles in the Louisiana. Creole is different from Creole in other areas. Okay. So in Louisiana, South Louisiana Creole, New Orleans Creole is Haitian, French, Native American. And when I say Native American, some of those Native Americans were African people who were living here before 1492. Okay, so that is Creole. And then there's Cajun. Cajun is further up, and it's French, and why they call it Cajun is like Acadiana. So that is from Canada. So that's European, Canadian, French. Two separate cultures. We both love each other, hang out with each other. Like in Louisiana, it's I don't know, it's kind of different. The Cajuns and the Creoles, we ain't got no problems with each other, because we just hang out and we love to cook out.
I want to say this because I see Just Me is have some interesting comments. We didn't create this. You know what I'm saying?
It just happened.
We didn't create the one drop rule. We didn't create the fact that one drop, 1/8 or whatever percentage you want to break it down means that person is Black. I'm not going to be offended because you don't believe it or you don't, you feel how you feel. I didn't make that rule. I didn't create it, so I'm not defending it at all. But it is true. It's not something that YouTube is just posting to talk about.
So Lance, so Creole is definitely not Quebec. That's more like you were talking about this one about Acadian. That's Cajun. Creole is definitely Haitian. Those the houses, they call them shotgun houses. They were brought to us in New Orleans from Haitian immigrants. It's definitely two different cultures, two different things, but somehow we all I don't know how we just come together. The Cajuns and the Creoles, we just kind of we kind of mesh well together. Not sure how, but it just happens. But hi, John Kemper. It's good to see you. Let me see who's in the house. Of course, Lance. We just talked about that. Just me. And I'm not the end all be all, or neither is Black Life of the culture in Louisiana. So if you have something to offer, let us know.
Sure.
Yeah, because.
But we could bounce off of Louisiana.
Well, Lance asked, do you identify either Cajun or Creole? Which is a good question because you are more from Lafayette area. Okay. And you're way darker skinned than me. Okay. And I'm from closer to New Orleans area. I identify more as Creole just because my family did like ancestral blah blah blah, and we have like Native American, French, Haitian. Like we've looked it up and saw it or what have you. I'm not sure what you identify as. Being honestly, closer to Lafayette.
You want me to tell you the truth? Where I'm from, people use those interchangeably. I mean, it's not that
you're close to Opelousas.
It really doesn't matter. Where I'm from, people are not, stuck to formal or official definitions of words. They make up shit. They combine things. They, use things to describe something that means totally opposite of what it is. So what I'm saying is I've grew up and I've heard people refer to people, Black people and white people, as Cajuns. Like
how can you identify as a Black person as a Cajun?
I'm trying to tell you.
That doesn't even make sense.
I'm trying to tell you.
That's Arcadiana.
Well, it's not that deep.
That's in Canada.
Where I'm from, people use it as jokes, lightheartedness. I've never been engaged in a conversation about the difference between a Cajun and a Creole until I met you. Honestly. Because where I'm from, it's mixed. It's mixed up.
You know what we care about?
What?
How you cook your food.
That's right. What it tastes like.
What your food tastes like. That's all we give a damn about. Because if you can't cook, then you're going to be asked out.
Right? But
look, Sean say, hey.
This is what I want to do. We're talking about Louisiana, which is good. I want to take a spin around or take a spin up and talk about something else. A different part of our country with a similar,
Can I take it just one before? Hold that thought for a second, because I don't want to lose this. I don't want to lose this. This comment.
Okay.
just looked up shotgun house. Never heard of it before.
Okay,
That's interesting, right?
that's great because I want to pull in this
But
next video.
hold your thought.
That ties into the next video.
Okay.
It
So you
does,
wanna say
but it's
something
not about
about it?
Louisiana. But when you say shotgun, I want you to take a look at this video.
So can I say what a shotgun house is too while she's setting it up? So you're supposed to be able to open the door of the house, like shoot a shotgun, and the bullet goes from one end of the house all the way to the next. So it's other houses have like rooms here, rooms there. It's super cute. These houses were like
You can look from the front door to the back door.
front door to the back door, and that's it. Oh wait, Oop. Showing my finger. I got big hands, like that.
I wish you played basketball with those hands.
I play piano.
Well, that's good. Wow. Okay, so this next video is talking about Lewis Hayden. Before you press play, have you ever heard of him? Lewis Hayden.
I've heard, but you tell the people. Tell the people. I've heard of him. He's a
That's how it is when you have
he's a
distorted
revolutionary. But tell the people.
experience of Black history, right? That's how it is. You might have heard the name mentioned, but nobody actually explained it like they explained George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. I bet you never heard of Lewis Hayden. Let's listen and talk about it on the other side.
Yeah, he's like a revolutionary.
Let's listen.
I mean, well, depending on who you ask, they might call him a domestic terrorist.
They might. Let's see why. Go ahead and play.
Okay.
Play.
Man once turned his house into a human booby trap just to keep slave catchers out, because apparently we've been about that action and they just conveniently forget to mention it. Meet Lewis Hayden, the original I wish a slave catcher would energy. Born into slavery in Kentucky, Lewis said, "Yeah, I'm good on that." He escaped, made it to Boston, and instead of minding his free Black business, he built a literal fortress. See, his house wasn't just a stop on the Underground Railroad. It was the whole operation. If slave catchers came knocking, Lewis had gunpowder and dynamite by the front door. Not a warning, not a prayer. Explosives. Catch one wrong move and poof, everybody's meeting their maker. And guess what? It worked. Slave catchers stayed scared because they knew pulling up on Lewis Hayden meant that you were voluntarily signing up to be blown all the way into next week. And because Lewis was that dude, he didn't just hide freedom seekers. He also fought for school desegregation, helped Black soldiers fight in the Civil War, and made Boston a full-on no-go zone for the Fugitive Slave Act. But you don't hear about him, do you? Because history loves to sell you peaceful marches and prayer hands, but not Black folks out here locking the doors and setting the traps. Lewis Hayden wasn't here for the turn the other cheek life. He said, "Come get these hands or this explosion." And honestly, mood. Say his name, Lewis Hayden. Did you know a Black man?
Not come get these hands.
Come get these hands. Hey, when I saw this video, that's what made me want to really do a show about just things in history that, wasn't taught to us. It sounds like it should be common knowledge. You know what I mean? It sounds like you should know
get
this.
these hands.
How about Mr. I wish a slave catcher would? That shit made me laugh, bro. I'm not even kidding. Here comes that boom. Right? I mean, it's interesting because we identify with so many white characters in movies and books, right? And different stories.
That's how we were taught.
Because that's what we were taught. If I was taught about Lewis Hayden, that would have been something so interesting. And plus, I could identify with why he's doing what he's doing, fighting desegregation. Like, he did a lot of things that are still relevant today.
That goes against white supremacy. That's not.
I understand.
It's not allowed.
All I'm saying is history can change your life, even if you're not learning about it right now. The black equivalent to Mulan, how you pronounce that? I'm sorry.
We gotta look it up. Can you Google it?
Come and take it.
Cause your Nina is full of
Yo,
knowledge.
throw us some.
She's always
Real
She's
facts.
always giving us some stuff.
And where is she from again?
I don't know, your
She
Nina.
shared
Where are
it.
you from?
She shared it earlier.
Well, she'll tell us again. Where are you from? Your Nina
guys-
is very knowledgeable, very smart.
1984. I didn't. I'll tell you straight up. I had a basketball coach.
Oh, you're talking
As an
about
English
you're talking
teacher.
about the
I didn't read
that
it.
Orwell or
Oh,
something.
Illinois.
No, not Illinois. Oh, you're saying Illinois because of your Nina.
Yeah.
No, this is Orwell in 1984 or something like that.
I'm saying I didn't.
You didn't read that book?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. All right.
I said it 5 times.
Okay.
I read news. I'm kidding. But in high school, we really didn't have an extensive reading list. When I met my friends in college and they asked, "What have you been reading? What's blah, blah, blah?" They showed me lists. I showed them a practice plan. All we were was athletes, right, and workers. We didn't have a book list
Mhm.
pushed on us. Well, at least not my circle of people in my age group.
Reading is
We
fundamental.
were more athletic.
Reading is fundamental.
I know. I developed an appreciation for it when I needed it and when I enjoyed it. But I don't want to extend our time too long past like an hour. This is supposed to be a quick, short show. I want to show this because of you, because it has ties.
Me?
Yeah, it has ties to you. When you
I
left,
don't even know what this is.
no, I'm saying,
Okay, I'm gonna share.
look,
it.
you could tell. Look,
I have no idea what this is.
Do you see what this is?
I see it says we are in New York,
I believe you told me this. You told me this. What he's about to
but
talk
I
about.
don't know what he's about to say.
But just like,
Okay, well, we're about to find out.
okay.
Okay, well, let's go. Let's go.
Another
Mhm.
interesting fact. Ba-da-bum-bum.
We are in New
Oh,
York.
City
Everybody
Village?
calls this place
Oh, yes.
Central Park.
Told you
But in
so before.
1825, this was Seneca Village, one of the first
Well,
places
what?
blacks could own property in New York, which also means
Oh,
there were some of the
let's
first
go.
black people to vote in this state. Seneca Village was founded 2 years before slavery ended here. It had 200 residents, 3 churches, a school, and over 50 homes. Yet in 1853, the city labeled it a shanty town. Because y'all know when they control your narrative, they control you.
I'm
They
sorry.
use eminent domain to bulldoze the village and build Central Park. Residents tried to fight it in the courts. They tried branding themselves as the middle-class neighborhood they were. They even refused to leave. But in 1857, the marshals came in and dragged them out their homes. Fast forward to 2011, archaeologists started digging in the park. They found stone foundations of homes. So this was no shantytown. They found teacups, tools, and shoe soles, proof of life. They found children's items like porcelain dolls. They're just a stable family community. That's what was bulldozed to create Central Park. So yeah, it's nice and all. But they've been using the same playbook since we got out of slavery.
Mhm.
Take our land, strip us of the right to vote, and build something for the general public so they don't stand behind us. Central Park, huh? This must be New York's Gulf of America.
Mm.
Thanks, New York, for your playbook to systemic racism.
Pieces of
We are
shit.
in New York. Everybody calls
Pause.
You know, okay. Look, I know you was about to play that.
I had to. Because it's just like what I said at the beginning. If you're missing your foundation, your history, you got a lot of holes in your life. And it's like, it's crazy learning about these things on social media.
Do
And
you
then someone
remember-
coming to you and saying something like, "Oh, you believe everything on YouTube or everything on social media." Well, where else we were gonna hear about it?
Do you remember when
The books they trying to take away?
No.
I'm sorry.
Let
I
me,
was on a tangent. My bad.
okay. Do you remember I was in my apartment complex and they had this like whole memorial for veterans, and I was all pissed off and I was cussing and fussing about it. You remember that?
Yeah.
Do you remember why?
Elaborate. I don't.
Okay. I was like, this is some bullshit, because they're like showing all these like they have this whole memorial about the veterans, but what they fail to tell you is this whole fucking complex was black people were not allowed to even live here after the war. They built a complex that looked the same as it, but in the Bronx. Like the black people had to go all the fuck the way to the Bronx. They could not live in Manhattan. And you know who did live in Manhattan in that complex? Jews. I'm just saying. I'm just telling the truth. Jews. Hi, Mastermind. Good to see you. I'm just saying it's real fucked up that they don't like, and that whole memorial they made around the veterans and shit. Like, you could have said that you didn't allow black veterans to even step foot on this property. That would be nice as a memorial to acknowledge that shit. But no, you whitewash it and make it seem like, oh, it's so sweet and so kind and shit. Ugh. It was so fucking annoying.
There is this one. I totally understand what you're saying. There was this one island that was occupied by. I really don't want to mess up the name of it. Oh my God, I can't think of it. They had people on the island. Military came in, said this is inhabitable. You can't live here. Boom, condemned the island, right? You know what they did afterwards? Built a naval, like a military base, a luxury. Like, I just can't think of what island. If anybody in the chats can tell me what island was that, where military went in, drove the people out. Turtle Island?
Well, no, Turtle Island is America.
No, it's not Turtle
Plum Island. Maybe is what you Nina.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to find it. And if anybody can find it, they'll let me know. I was blown away by the story, how they just pushed the people out.
Can you Google Plum? Because more than one person said Plum Island.
Plum Island?
Yeah.
It's not. I don't. That name isn't popping out to my mind, so I'm
just
not sure.
Google it and see.
Okay.
But anyway, it just pissed me the fuck off, the way they would the way they just cut off that part of history in that area. Like, oh, everything is so great and we're so wonderful, and let's just celebrate our veterans. And yeah, it made it hard to live there a little bit. Montauk Monster Place? What, Sean? Did you look?
Yeah, I looked at it. It's telling me that Plum. It's not in New York. It's not in the United States. So that's definitely not the one I'm talking about. But guess what? It's another island that people were pushed off for military purposes, right?
Mm.
That's the common theme of what I was thinking about.
Okay, you got to get your story straight.
Oh, I'll find out. You can talk about any of the
Yeah,
United
somebody
States
said, is it
cities,
Guam?
black cities that was put under lakes. You can talk about any of that was never taught to us, but occurred.
Yeah.
You can talk about any of the black Wall Street cities across the country that was destroyed. It just baffles me how you can hate a group of people so much that you won't even allow them to get away from you to do better and live a life. I just don't understand that.
This is back in the comments, but this needs to be said. Yanina, yeah, a lot of people don't know, like they think that only the Southerners had slaves. There were slaves in New York. There were slaves in the North.
I wonder why people would think that. Because
they don't teach us properly.
I was just
We're
being
not taught properly.
I was being sarcastic with that one. Lake Lanier, still snatching souls.
Oh,
Ooh,
you just saw that.
I just read it.
It's not just Lake Lanier. It's a lot of lakes. There's a lot of places that were a lot of places in the United States that there were turned into lakes, and they were black towns. It's a lot of places. It's not just Lake Lanier. It's kind of like Tulsa, Oklahoma, Lake Lanier. For some reason, those got the notoriety of people knowing those places, but there are like 30 to 40 more of them in this country that nobody knows about, which is, whatever. Who is Marlo, World FTP? You are new here, and thank you for coming. I mean, we hear about George Washington having slaves, and that's in Vermont, so how do people not make the connection, though? Yeah, for slaves being in the North. Thank you. Thank you for that comment, and thank you for being here, because I feel like you're new here, so I'm glad to have you.
I want to ask our people in the chat, what is something like I really want to understand what about Black history is intriguing to people. Like, what is something that you would have wanted to learn about? Is it more about Africa and the origins through Africa? Like, it's so much history to know. It's hard to find out what you would like to know.
We'll do that. We'll do that.
We'll do what?
We will do that on Black Life.
What, continue to explore our history?
Yonina said all of it. We're gonna look. We're gonna do that.
It's so much.
I promise.
Right?
We're gonna do that. I want to. Well, first of all, hi Patrick. We got a new person here. It's good to see you, and please come back. I want to talk about the plantation that burned down in White Castle, Louisiana. It was a plantation owned by a slave owner who had plenty of slaves, like about 300 of them or something like that. In Louisiana, we have different plantations. Most of them have been turned into museums where you can learn, like you can see the furniture of that day, the tools that were used at the time, like learn about what was happening, look at the cabins, stuff like that. This plantation turned it into a vacation spot. People would have weddings, vacation. Imagine
in 2025.
imagine going to Auschwitz and vacationing and having a wedding. Can you imagine?
Yes,
Like who
they celebrated.
who would think that is okay? But
People who
they
felt that
did-
way.
Yeah, but they would do this.
And guess what? It just burned down. People were still celebrating this place.
Yeah, people
Till
were
this
getting
day.
they were getting married. They were
Till this day.
having parties. They were vacationing like it was a resort. It was
You know what
it
it
was
remind me of?
unconscionable. And the idea that was okay, and the idea that when it burned down and Black people were celebrating and saying our ancestors are now free,
Mhm.
saying thank God or goodness or what have you, that this place is no longer. The white people that were saying, that were trying to scold us and say, oh, this is history.
The same people who defended the statues. But wait a minute. You know what it reminds me of? And I know this is why I think Black history is not taught, because the amount of emotions that it stirs up inside of us. I know me, I'm speaking personally. It's an anger, it's a hurt, it's a, any emotion, negative emotion you could feel comes in my head. But one thing that sticks out is those slave pictures where they had kids in the pictures pointing, smiling, laughing, while a Black person was in a tree or burnt up in the can.
Oh,
That kind of stuff. You know what I'm talking about?
Well, okay, so
That is what it
she's-
reminds me
She's
of.
referring to so
I
it's
just don't know how you
a-
get over that.
it's a universal word now, picnic, but the origin of the word was pick a nigga. So in the South, white people would get together and watch a Black person get lynched,
And
and
celebrate.
they would celebrate it, and they would bring food and hang out and watch the hanging of a Black person.
Which
And not only would they do that, pick a nigga, they would cut off the genitals, cut off like pieces of
use the body as whatever.
cut off pieces of their body and take it home as a
Stuffed
souvenir.
pillows. Yeah, they treated us like a garment or thing. And I just, for the life of me, I cannot understand why people, especially white people, get so angry because we want to know about our history. It's like, why are you not angry at those acts that you're trying to wash away and hide away? But you're angry because somebody want to find out and know what happened to them
Mhm.
and learn how to prevent that shit from ever happening again. I just don't. That's why I think Black history is, and maybe it's for the good of us, because the more you learn about things that have been hidden from you, and then people turn around and celebrate off of your pain. You know what I mean? Your torture. They celebrate. It's hidden things in our history like that. They better hide it. You what was that? What was Lewis Hayden? Slave hunters.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
so I want to say hi, Patrick Sargent. Thank you for joining in. I think, and then also Jeremiah Myers. So I don't know if Yanina, some of my friends from like Signal are chiming in, and I really appreciate you guys. And they really need to be listened to. Like I really enjoy watching their show because they give me some information about how there were actually African people in America before slavery. And they go into the genealogy and explanations, and it's really informative. And I really love uh, being in their presence and hearing what they have to say, and understanding that all of us did not come here as enslaved Africans. Some of us were already here and became enslaved because of the weapons of the colonizers. So I really appreciate all of that knowledge that they bring to me. And I thank you for being here today. And please come back.
Next week, we may have a special guest who is a masseuse and an herbalist and a new age entrepreneur. So hopefully she'll be able to make it with us. We have a couple of guests lined, well, on the back burner, but scheduling and this day as a Tuesday at 5 o'clock is kind of difficult. What?
Nothing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had something to say. But I appreciate everybody popping in on this quick show. I'm glad Abby Duke came back to us because she was a little frustrated with me at the beginning. And Abby Duke, when you rewatch this show, realize the beginning was all me. I don't know how it looks, but it was very fun and exciting.
This is actually her show. I just came to help. My show is on Thursdays with Noteworthy. We talk about domestic and foreign policy. I'm really into politics, so
I'm
that's me.
into politics, but it doesn't occupy my whole heart or brain. I listen to you guys. I enjoy your show, but I wanted Black Life to be conversational, not so serious. I know it was serious today with Black History, but Black History in itself is something that has been hidden for a good reason.
I'm very excited about some people that have seeped into Black Life from like Smoke Signal and all of that, because I think they will be really good people for you to talk to, because they have a ton of knowledge. Yanina, just brilliant.
I'm always interested in expanding my network, my ability to get some knowledge from different pieces across this podcast world.
Like they open my eyes to a lot of understandings of the concept, not even a concept, the realization, I should say, that there were a lot of us here already. And they go into the genealogy, they go into the records, and I think it would be great for them to come here and share that knowledge with the people that that are on our podcast.
I appreciate it,
because a lot of our podcast people, for you guys, Smoke Signal and all of that, They are like a lot of them are in the UK and Canada and the Midwest. So I think it would be a wonderful thing for you to express those things to them because they want to be here to learn. And we want to
Reach one,
teach one.
I love it.
Totally.
That's what Black
Yep.
life is not one dimensional. It's not upward mobility.
Upward
That's right,
mobility.
Look, Black. Even though our show is called Black Life, I often like to continue to repeat this. It's not just Black, but it's about our experience with each other and
Black.
others.
It's Black.
Not just Black. We deal with a lot of people in our country.
Okay, but it's Black.
Right? Hey man, it's not a lot of coverage out there that talks about
It's
how
Black.
we interact with ourselves and others.
It's Black.
Mm,
It's Black.
maybe we could hold a panel. That's interesting. I would like to do that. I would definitely like to do that.
It's
Invite
really
new people.
it's really cute that you say that because we're actually having a panel locally in the next 2 months. That's neither here nor there. Which brings us back to mutual aid is really important. We have to not focus on voting in federal elections and the Senate, whatever. Focus on your communities and mutual aid. So a panel would be great, a virtual panel. We host panels in our community at least once every 2 months or so.
I tell you what, the last 2 months have been super loaded, but it's great because we get to check the temperature of our communities, what's needed, and our mission is to get more young people who are already leaders actively involved in their community. Because you're right, it starts within our community. If you don't feel safe, if you're not fed, if you don't, have support or someone to help you in those challenging moments, that's the breakdown. And our whole purpose is to reunite our community while learning still.
I'm just very excited to see like new faces here. And I want to acknowledge them. Patrick, Sargent, Marlo World, FTP. I don't know where you guys came from, but thank you so much for joining us and being in communion with us. Come back.
Yeah.
We're gonna be here on Tuesdays at 5 p.m.
And
come on Thursday. If you, some people don't care about politics, but if you do, domestic and world policy, we touch upon that.
Chop it up
on Thursdays at 5 p.m. Central.
Abby do and Michael. I know.
Why you calling Mikael?
I'm just giving him a hard time. Sweet self.
And we big up, our other podcasters like Yanina knows, the Political Matrix, Revolutionary Blackout Network, Hard Lens Media, Indie News. I mean,
those are all along your path, your journey. I'm gonna have to start expanding on finding me some podcasts that can add some juice to Black life.
Smoke Signal.
I talk about sports,
but Smoke Signal, like you gotta be ready for them because
you see what I mean? I don't know if we could bring that heat. No, I'm saying I don't know if I'm able to go into that smoke. You saying I gotta be ready?
You gotta be ready.
Well, I gotta get prepared. But they say if you stay ready,
you ain't got to get ready.
You ain't got to get ready.
You ain't got to get ready.
Well, guys, that is about all we have today in Black Life. But tune in next week and we will have a special guest and more inside information on some Black history that we might not have known. We could talk about some music, what's going on in our entertainment world. I don't think Abidu wants to have a whole episode dedicated to P. Diddy case, but it is relevant. Current news is relevant. I'm going to tell you what's relevant.
Because I don't think it's real.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you what's relevant.
It's not real.
Can I tell you what's relevant? Tory Lane's case with Meg Thee Stallion. I just don't like how people are able to manipulate the law, even in the face of truth. Now, if it turns out this man did not commit that crime and he had to give up those years of his life because a story and a narrative was pushed and an agenda was there, then shit, we need all pay attention to that because we could all be
the world is a stage,
and we could all be victims at any moment. That's why you must stay informed. Tune into Black Life for current news, historical facts about what I'm gonna say.
I'm not about to come on here and talk about P. Diddy. I just don't want to.
If you rewind, that's exactly what I said. I said you would not want to dedicate an hour to P. Diddy, especially on Noteworthy.
No,
that's not what it's about.
What we're going to talk about on Black Life is Black inventors that you may or may have never heard about, Black musicians who you may or may never have heard about.
So it sounds like
Black people.
You're recapping our theme.
I just don't really want to talk about P. Diddy. Like, so what? He had a freak off. I don't care.
I'm not into all of that stuff. That's not why I mentioned it. I mentioned it because just like our historical facts and things that we talked about today, elements still apply to present day moments.
Okay.
Elements apply to present day moments because I wish a slave catcher would. I wish a slave catcher would. Thank you.
And they still doing it. They still slave catching us.
Baby,
we getting
they
slave,
not doing it. And Lewis
caught.
Hayden's family.
Wait, look. Let me tell you what the slave catchers. They didn't caught Bill Cosby. They didn't caught P. Diddy.
That's not hard to do. They didn't caught
Kanye.
I mean, the loudest one in the room.
They got Shannon Sharp. I could keep going on and on and on. You know who they didn't catch? Hugh Hefner.
And I wonder if that's by design.
Weinstein. They didn't catch Elvis Presley. Man, come on now. Okay.
So, Abidu, are you trying to say that we're not learning from those examples? You think there's another P. Diddy in the midst?
I'm tripping.
No, you're serious. I want to talk about what you're saying. It's funny how we have all of this knowledge that it happens to this group of people, but not these group of people. So why do people keep walking into the trap?
Look, she said they caught Epstein. He probably ain't even dead. He probably on his island. They caught Weinstein. He wheeled out on his little wheelchair, and you never heard anything about him. Nobody even talks about. Oh shoot, the CEOs of Abercrombie and Fitch who was trafficking boys all over the world. Nobody even talks about them.
What media outlet you think will feature that story?
I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying.
I know.
But anyway, we getting into we doing too much at this point, huh? Yeah.
We?
Huh?
Uh-huh. Well, guys, as I was saying, I appreciate you guys coming in today. I did not know how this show was going to turn out. I'm glad Miss Abidu is smiling and laughing. And all it took was a little shaky slave story. Shaky slave story.
We'll be more
Refined
next time and have
and
more
ready.
like
Yes, because we will
details
have
about
a guest.
what we're going to talk about.
Okay, let's
We-
talk
we
about
have
that
some-
elephant.
We have some really good guests.
Wait, let's talk about that elephant. I want my our guest, Abidu. We have two different functioning brains. You must have order. You must have things lined up to be able to function. Myself, it depends on the environment. I could be as loose and free and floating and still be fine. You act like you will run through a wall if we don't have a script. I just don't want you to get upset because
not
it
how
doesn't
you-
follow your recipe.
That's not how you produce
That
a
cake's
show.
still gonna taste the same.
That's not how you produce a show.
You see?
but
Not how
but
you
it's her show.
produce the show.
This is her show. So
Yeah. But I like earlier you said, no, Black life is not gonna be about that. It's gonna be about musicians you haven't heard, artists you have. Yeah.
that's how you produce a show.
Okay. Well, this show is going to be very off the hook. We not following a script. We coming in, sharing a good time in the present moment. Right? We could all take a trip back in history and learn about some things that was hidden from us. But when we come back, we're here together. Right? Smiling. Look at that beautiful smile. Smile. At any rate,
Look, Patrick,
So off the
Patrick,
hook.
Sean, Lance,
can't be
Yanina.
Lance.
I can't do nothing with her on Black
Never.
Life. Thank goodness I got noteworthy.
And don't let me get better at starting it. Don't let me get better at starting the show. I don't know what I did at the beginning.
Look.
What's that?
Off the hook means no responsibility. Exactly.
Lance!
Exactly.
Off the rails.
Off the rails.
Against the
She
wall.
just whatever the fuck. We doing whatever the fuck.
Some
That's-
days,
that's what she
after a
wants to
long
do.
day of work,
Which is okay.
we just
I
want to
guess.
let loose. It's okay. Talk about something interesting. You know, I'm a lifelong learner, but I don't need to learn every second. I can let loose.
But I'd like to focus on some things like
Yeah,
black inventors,
and that's when we have our
black
guests.
athletes, black fashion,
Yeah.
black artists. I mean, it is black,
Black
life,
life,
right? So I would
But I
like
also
to
want
not just
days
be
where
just
we can-
willy-nilly all the goddamn
No.
time.
I don't expect it to be that. I
Okay.
expect it to be a place where we can use it to match our moods. If we're in the mood, boom, boom, boom.
Oh,
Look at you right now.
If we're in the mood, boom, 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 and you know what mood she always in.
Happy. Not really. Not really. Some days are very stressful in my new role. Like I'm learning to deal with a lot of emotions, not mine, but other people that I come in contact with throughout the day of work. And so sometimes that stuff is stressful. And this is a perfect outlet to let loose and get off the hook.
Yeah. That's a lot for them they wouldn't understand what you're talking about because they don't know your workload. So
Well, I'll love to share it,
yeah,
but
it's a lot. It's a lot to
it's
take in.
emotionally,
It's a lot to
you
take
know,
in.
stressful.
Yeah.
I work in prevention, right? I deal with mental health. I deal with bullying. I deal with grief,
Suicide,
all that.
all that. Yeah.
And while you're learning about these things, you're learning with a new group of people each time. You know what I mean? Like tomorrow, I have to go to a conference, a 2-day conference where we're going to be networking, sharing resources. It's a whole new group of people. But when you're talking about those topics, it could get actually heavy.
What is this? I want to see what this
Wait, what now?
genealogy is key with your family tree because socially and politically, Black implies.
So, what is that? I can't
I
even
don't
say it.
know. I'm not sure.
Which means
Which means
dead in the
dead in the
eye
eyes
of
of
the law.
law.
Lord have mercy. I know what you mean.
So I would really like you guys to come on Black Life
And let's talk some more about this.
because they like I've watched their podcast
Okay.
and they really do be having genealogy and
Interesting topics. That's what I'm talking about.
well not interesting topics, interesting like paperwork, yeah,
To back
to
up what they're talking
prove
about. Yeah.
prove what they're talking about.
Okay.
So I can't really explain what he's saying here, but
You know what?
I would love for you to
But
to
you know what
contact me.
you're not gonna do? You're not gonna come on Noteworthy on this show and start reading articles. Black Life is not gonna be about reading articles and getting deeper in that manner. That's Noteworthy. That's where you and Mr. Michael come in. If we're gonna take a deeper
Okay, well, they can
dive,
come on Noteworthy.
then
It's fine.
we're gonna swim across that pond
It's
to
fine.
Noteworthy.
They can come on
Yeah,
Noteworthy.
Black Life is like we're gonna keep it as light as we can, but it can get heavy.
Okay, it's fine.
Thank you so much.
But I would really like them to because we have a different audience, so
Mm-hmm.
I would like them to, have some
Are
understanding.
you planning to invite them
that.
on Noteworthy? Because it
Yeah,
sounds
that'd be
like you
fine.
guys could deep dive on
That'd be
those
fine.
facts.
I would
Cool.
love that. I would love that, Jeremiah.
Awesome. Look,
And
Yonina broke it down. She broke down the syllables. Thank you, Yonina.
oh, thank you, Onina. Because look, as much as I research domestic policy, foreign policy, and history, the history that I have researched, finding that podcast, and it's not just one podcast, it's a couple of podcasts, have taught me that the history that I've kind of delved into isn't all the history that it didn't, like the history. It's the whitewash history that they given to us.
Now,
and it's a lot of genealogy that they show and they focus on.
Oh,
And they go into records. And
I see.
Yeah, it's really eye-opening.
You know what I was about to say.
And I really love it. But they are late at night, and I've been sleeping late. And I used to be up late at night and watching, but now I'll be asleep. So
for the last 2 days, let's not act like it's a lifestyle change.
Shut up. That's not true.
It is. You are pure night owl. So if they're on late, I don't know how I watch them. I guess I have to catch them. I'm in the early
You can watch them later, but
yeah,
it's really informative, and I really appreciate what they're doing. And if you wanna like post when your show comes on or what have you in the chat, I'd love to show it. because
What's up about
it's
Jesse
some- it's-
Jackson?
Huh?
I was trying to see what Jeremiah said. Negro, color, mulatto, black.
see, this is the thing about Jeremiah. Jeremiah, my audience, you post like you write that, they're not gonna understand what the fuck you talking about because that's not my audience. So you would have to come on the show and we have a conversation so we can explain to them the things that you're expressing. You see what I'm saying?
You often tell me people are not aware of my culture and what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh.
You like, we were talking about rappers the other day, and you're like, Tajman, Black Light, they have no idea who NBA YoungBoy is.
Yeah, my audience doesn't.
Right.
There's black people in the audience, but I'm from a different ilk as you are. I mean, we
Yes.
are. We're none of us are a monolith. All I'm saying is they're not going to understand this. But Jacqueline is here.
You late to the party, baby.
Jacqueline been here?
Mm-hmm.
Like Jacqueline's in the UK. She's not gonna know what the fuck you talking about, Jeremiah, unless we have you on and you explain what you're saying. And
Never broke again, young boy. Yep.
what does that even mean?
Who knows? But this kid gets paid.
Are you talking about
The rapper from Baton Rouge. Yes. The one all the kids love.
see, I'm from Baton Rouge and I don't even know who the fuck this is.
You
What?
do know NBA YoungBoy.
No, I don't.
I would bet you don't know one song
No,
because
I
this
don't.
is how he sounds. That's what I hear when I listen to the NBA YoungBoy. I apologize if I rip your ears up. That's exactly what I hear when I listen to him. I have no idea.
And some of that music,
At least
some of
I
the music I
understood the
do like,
Migos.
but
It's like after Migos, what are they saying? I'm sorry. Sorry, young folks.
oh, Jack, what she say? I'm so sorry, Tasha and Abby. I completely forgot this was on. Oh, she's
That's
so
okay.
sweet. She's so sweet.
Jackie, do you know how to dance? Because I, in my mind, am
Can see her
thinking
dancing huh?
about Abby Do showing you how to do the new dance that's taking over Where Them Fans At. I don't even know if that's the name of the song. But Jackie, I would love to get your reaction to Where Them Fans At.
Young boy got some slaps.
What the hell is slaps?
Slaps. You
Hands?
no. Oh my God, slaps like when?
What the hell is slaps? I'm old. I have no idea.
For real?
What is slaps? Sean, what is slaps?
Like when you got some shit that's happening, like
What?
slaps. Like it's
Nah.
good.
That must be a New York thing you brought back here. I don't know what the hell slaps is.
Slaps.
Unless you're playing cards and smack someone. I have no idea.
Okay, yeah, go with that.
It's like
Yeah,
red
go with
knuckles.
that.
I have no idea what slaps is.
Oh my God.
Good music? That's what it is. Sean says. it's good
Thank
music.
you. Like slaps.
Oh, you
Like
said
the
something
shit
totally
slaps.
different.
No, the shit slaps.
Nah, I don't. No, he doesn't.
Okay, when you slap, it's
It's
like
a Bay
clap.
Area thing?
It's like a clap.
Who said it was a Bay Area thing?
I don't know.
Marlo.
And I'm yelling. I'm just upset about it that she don't know what slaps means.
You in here about
It's
to
like a
slap me with
clap.
your hands.
I know.
Look, I don't know a lot of cool words that you cool cats talk about over there. I'm over here in old school land.
It's like a clap.
What Marlo said? Oh, you see, that's still something different.
What the E40?
They're talking about music and sound and stuff.
Yes.
You're talking about something else. You keep doing this.
I don't even know how else to explain
Yes,
it, but
I mean, would you give NBA credit for the beats, or would you give him credit for the raps? Because technically, the rappers are not the people that's making the beats. It's like Mustard and them making beats, right? Mustard on the beats, like Abby Lou says.
you know what?
I'm just trying to ask, who gets the credit for the slaps? Is it the rapper, or is it the beat master?
You know what we need to stop doing?
What? Slap?
Making ourselves look so bad.
Oh, well, I'm old.
Because we both look real old right now.
I like Andre 3000. Outcast. That's my jams.
Marlo said both of them. Some say the song.
He's saying both of them about
Not
who to get the
both
credit.
of them.
Oh, my bad.
Both of them.
Both of them. Are you saying
You from
both of them?
Louisiana? What you doing?
Look, man, I mess up.
You better speak the way you supposed to speak. Both of them.
I'm not from New Orleans. I'm from Abbeville. I just told you. We call people Cajun and Creole the same person. They Cajun or they Creole. No, I'm asking.
Jacqueline
He said the artist and the beat master get credit for the song. That's what you meant about both of them? Yeah, the song.
Mm.
Let me see. Go back. Up.
Yes, Jacqueline. Slaps means it's good.
Well, if that's the case, Sean, no. NBA YoungBoy does not have slaps.
Oh, we didn't went back to him?
Yes, because that's who
I
started
don't
it.
even know who this is.
Oh my God. If you see him, and then he tried. This kid makes me laugh, man. But he's a very wealthy kid.
Lance said, I do like a good twerk. You know what, Lance? I like a good twerk too. I don't know how to do it, but
Oh my God.
I will watch it.
I want to see Jackie do what I'm fans at. What I'm fans at.
I'd like to see Jackie twerk.
Jackie, what do you know about Cajun music? Like, look. Cajun music.
We get to
and Creole
we
music.
got to
Oh, we about to wrap it up.
we got to wrap this up. We doing too much.
I'm having fun, which is
I
what
know.
Black life is all about.
We doing too much.
It's about that. Wait. I want to see
Wait.
what Marlo said.
Are you going to work on the camera? I mean,
What?
since you're talking about it, you might
Only
as
if Miss Jackie does. Only if Miss Jackie. If she do it, I'll do it.
We always young at heart. Look, don't grow up. It's a trap. It's
That's
a
one
fucking
thing I
trap.
promised
Don't
myself
grow
I
up.
would never do. Ever.
Mm-hmm.
Ever. You ever just wish you could wake up and just start singing like that kid that won American Idol? I'm like, every morning I wake up,
What?
that kid that won American Idol. His name Roberts, last name
A lot of
Roberts.
kids won American Idol.
No, the last one. It was just black kid with dreads. His name jumped something J. Roberts. I didn't really watch the show,
Oh my goodness.
but my point is, you just
Yeah,
try to
get
take
to the
away my-
point. What the fuck?
My point is, you ever wake up and just wish this is the day that my voice is going to change and I'm going to be able to sing? You know, you just never know. You could wake up tomorrow and I could sound like Whitney. Easy.
You can get up right now and twerk.
Yeah.
This could be the day.
No, not that day. Not that day.
This could be the day. I'm just
Uh-oh,
saying.
Jackie. Jackie, please dance with me. I I've been a part of the Rhythmless Nation for a long time.
Rhythmless Nation.
Guys,
She
I
can't
want to
dance.
share this. I am a black woman.
Can't dance at all.
Hold up. This is the most terrifying story ever. I'm in college.
Can't dance
Teenager.
at all.
I had to take this class. It was like a 3-part class. Wait.
Quick.
It was a 3-part class. Our instructor was a fit, older black lady who taught dance classes and everything, right? So she made the fatal assumption that all black people had rhythm and could dance. She called me up to the front of the class to do an example.
Oh Lord.
I started moving like Elaine from Seinfeld. And she
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
she was like, baby,
Go
on,
sit
baby.
down. Go
Go
on,
on,
sit
baby.
down,
Sit down,
baby.
baby.
Go on, sit down.
go on.
Go
on,
on
sit
now.
down.
Go on now.
But I became the best chair dancer in America. And when that contest breaks, first place, chair
She
dancer.
loved chair dancing.
Wham fans.
Wait, hold on.
No.
She
Now you see?
She just be doing all this in the chair
Nah, I have rhythm.
and
I
swear
can do.
she
Ooh, I can do.
and be
Look what I'm
it's
doing in
be-
my chair.
all in
What?
the chair. Don't twerk in the chair. Can't nobody see you.
Exactly. That's my business. It's my Black life business. Thank you, everyone. This has been a hold up, Sean. I know you're not. No, he's not talking about my Rhythmless Nation. Sean, can you dance? Now that's the question.
Of course he can.
Sean cannot dance. I wish.
Of course
He
he can.
wish. Sean, can you
Anyway,
dance?
so next week. No, I'm sorry. Thursday, 5 p.m. Central. We're going to be serious. We're going to be talking about domestic or foreign policy. Michael and I haven't discussed what we're going to talk about yet, but it's going to be more serious than this.
Great.
And then next Tuesday, like we're trying to put together a
special
a
guest.
special guest.
And-
We have a really good special guest too.
We have 2 potential guests.
Yeah.
And
Actually 3.
I want to
but-
go away from doing pre-recorded shows. You suggested that to me, but I don't want to do it. What?
So Tuesday, you will see you on Tuesday, next Tuesday. But before then, come back on Thursday. Well, Nina, I already know you could dance, girl.
I need to see what Sean's saying right now. I know it. What is? I can't even see.
I've been known to cut a rug, not cut a rug. How old are you? Talking about
Wait.
cutting a rug.
And then talking about white chocolate by some of his former ladies. What?
Wait, I thought Sean was black.
Well, he was.
Oh,
called
he white?
chocolate.
Oh, Sean white? Damn.
Oh man, look at this.
Okay, I thought Sean was black this whole time. And cutting the rug, so he white and older. I thought he was a young black man the whole time.
That is hilarious. Have you ever played?
That's
What's that game where you draw?
Wait, he said I'm Caucasian, not Caucasian, not white. Don't do me like that. And I thought you were like young until you talking about cutting the rug. So that's how I know he got some age on him.
Well,
when he cutting the rug.
Well, Sean, you are a wealth of knowledge, though. If you are Caucasian, as you say, you have a long well of black knowledge and references, and I think that's dope.
We can have a dance off.
No, you know what? A dance off.
We could do a dance off.
We can practice. We got to make some space. I would.
May I just say when I was living in New York City, during the pandemic.
Sean has a red
And we-
beard. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, ginger.
What?
You
black,
know, Sean. They say gingers are black.
They say
now.
all gingers
Like
are black, Sean. I'm sorry.
We just claim
that to
we
you.
just claim the gingers. You're
I'm
black
sorry,
now.
you're over here.
Sorry, you're black now. Oh, that's a running joke. But anyway, when we during the pandemic, this is serious. Okay, during the
Oh, wow.
pandemic, what'd you do? What happened?
I don't know.
Okay,
We back,
so
we back.
during the pandemic, I was living in New York City. What's going on, T? What did you do with my?
I just picked the phone up.
What the fuck did you do? Am I even
I
on?
still- yeah, you
am I
still on.
there? Okay, so I'll just do this. I can't
Yeah,
see
we'll wrap it
anything.
up over here.
So anyway, during the pandemic, we would have hold on. I'm so flustered. Okay, now I can see myself again. Shit. I don't know what the fuck was happening. All right. So we would have like Zoom parties because in New York City, we were not allowed to leave the house unless it was extremely essential for, I don't know, 2 years or something. It was kind of fucking crazy. So our friends, we would have a Zoom party on Saturdays and we would just like play music. We would all play music and party together. And on Sundays we would have like discussions, like talk about a book or something in politics or what have you. But the Saturday parties were really fun. So we could try to do that. If you want to dance, Jacqueline.
Yes.
If you want to dance.
I want Miss Jacqueline to cut a rug. So mine says,
we could like have one of these and give everybody a link to join and play some music and we could dance.
all right, folks. We are about to peace out on you, but we did have a great time. I know I did. I'm very glad that you came back and we got to have a little laugh, you know, shake a little tail feather. I think it was a good day. Jacqueline says she wants to be good and drunk. Okay, Jacqueline. I usually don't start until after the third, fourth sip. But.
So maybe we should maybe we should set it up for like a Saturday night or something.
Some fun.
And just have it on like we're going live and just I don't know, set it up as
Are you talking about
a dance party or something?
A moment off the hook?
So you already know that it's happening. That'd be fun. I think that would be fun.
But only on Black Live.
It's
I don't
all
think
on Abby Do. It doesn't matter.
No, I'm saying I don't think you and
Michael could come.
Michael cannot dance. I'm just saying.
How do you know?
I could tell. He's too cute. He's too cute. Cute guys don't dance.
I bet you Michael will set it off in this motherfucker.
All right.
Off in this motherfucker.
Now that's funny. I could definitely see him laughing at that comment.
I bet you he would. Yeah, I'd like that too, where we all just like have fun and dance.
Have fun.
Have a little dance party. That would be great.
So we will set the date.
Yep.
Wait, what?
Michael could dance, I bet.
Nah,
he could.
Michael cannot dance.
No, I bet he could.
Stella, or Ella, what's his dog's name?
Bella.
I bet Bella could dance, but not Michael.
I bet you Michael would be.
He could beat me dancing.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's not hard. That's not
It's
hard.
not hard at
Rhythm.
all.
Go to the rhythmless nation.
You know
I
what?
make good sound effects and claps like I really, I used to like the strobe lights because my little movements.
You know what? I did have some wine today. We're very cheerful.
I didn't even have any.
You're just happy because of your the opportunities that you're.
I'm happy because of that, and I loved being with you.
Well, you have to tell them the like.
I don't want to jinx and talk about it too early, but I have an opportunity to lead a first-time leadership summit.
Yeah.
It's an athletic leadership summit, and I
then,
get to
and then you're doing
help create it.
Yep, you're creating it, and then you're doing a subsequent one. So
Yeah,
that's why she's super happy. I'm happy because I've been drinking wine, girl.
Oh Lord, ain't nothing but entrepreneur.
They don't understand that reference. But yeah, we should do a little party, a dance party.
We can have a Black Life Night.
Well, we'll call it something else.
All right, fine.
Dance party night or something.
You see how she subtly just smacks? She giving me the slaps.
Look, like, share, and subscribe because we will actually do this. I think that will be really fun. And maybe we'll try for Saturday. We'll see what happens.
Not this Saturday, huh?
Not this Saturday. Friday.
What's this? Oh, we have another open. Next Saturday, we have a conference.
Yeah, that's next weekend.
And that just means everybody has to show themselves. Even me.
So maybe Friday or Saturday.
Because I'm pretty sure
like, share, and subscribe.
My chair dancing. It's not gonna be too hot with my Black Life avatar. They won't believe I got this rhythmless. Really? Oh my God. Thanks, Abby. She's so horrible.
I'll put her in a mask and she could dance.
Okay. Oh, we could do the mask dancing. Like the mask singers.
I don't need a mask. I'm a twerk.
Oh,
I don't give a goddamn.
I do. Guys, remember, we work with children in the community. So we have to be appropriate before hours. But after 12, it's Black Night Life. I'm just kidding. Anyways, Sean, I'm glad you're gonna be there. Sean, you saw me? How dare you?
Wait till Sean, wait till you see that booty. Wait till you see what that booty
now that's
do.
enough. That's when we
Okay. I'm just saying.
Cut.
It's a booty.
Turn it off.
I mean,
Turn the TV off.
Turn the TV off.
Turn the TV off.
So anyway, Thursday, 5 p.m. Central, we are actually going to be serious, domestic or foreign policy. Michael and I haven't decided yet, but
unless
it will be
I
something.
pop in.
No, you're not popping in. Fuck no. No.
Oh my God. My infectious,
no,
funny joyfulness. It's not wanted.
Okay.
Noteworthy. How?
Y'all have a good night.
All right, guys.
We love you.
Thank you so much for popping in and staying with us.
Like
this end.
Subscribe.
And come back. Have a great night, guys.